Well, here we go. Time now for the end of Stage 4 in Underground 2, and we will begin here with a message coming from Corey. Competition here is stiff. It's one thing to win on the street, it's something completely different to win on a real track. URL races separate the contenders from the pretenders. And if we can win this, we will get $5,000. Okay, here we go.
The Wraiths have been putting it down out there, doing anything it takes to win. Check it out. Their boss, Caleb, has been working backroom deals trying to take control. Sponsors do everything through me, and I stand to lose big time, but you stand to lose even more. If he wins, he'll change everything. With the history the two of you have, you can forget about racing anywhere in Bayview ever again. But if you keep winning and scoring all them sponsors, he won't have anyone to turn to. They'll kick him to the curb. Just remember, you have to keep winning.
So yeah, that by the way is Rachel's simple TLDR description of what it is we basically need to do in Stage 5. And I think what we'll basically focus on now is doing what I always do, and that is basically winning by absolute margins that will practically kick my competition to basically pulps in all areas of the body. So we've got a Toyota Supra. I think that's a Nissan Skyline I see up ahead next to the Subaru Pretzel. Yes, it is. And got an Infiniti G35, and I think the last car I saw in this race was a Nissan 240SX, I think. At least I believe it's a 240SX. But anyway. We are moving forwards. And now, all we have to do is stay up front and basically keep scoring more and more clean sweeps, since that is basically the only thing we can really do here for now. So yeah, I reckon it's a good thing under the circumstances. So already one lap is down, and I braked a bit too early there for turn 1. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I've basically kicked my competition right to the curb already, and there's no way in hell they're gonna catch up to me. I know that to most of you this might look boring, but again, because I'm trying to go all the way to 100%, this is basically the only way I really can go through Stage 4 to achieve the elusive 100% I've been trying to get now for more than a month as of recording this, because, well, I'm recording the first part of this video on a Tuesday night. And this is more or less the best thing I really can do at this stage. Just basically trying to take these events one day at a time, and hoping that on the days when I don't have to be in uni, I can manage to take some big chunks out of making it to the end of this game. which basically is the prime directive I've given myself now. At least I'm trying to finish the career mode. Ah, I almost had it. God damn it. I very nearly had that power slide mastered. I'm pretty sure if I would have just stayed off the walls a little bit longer, I would have had that power slide nailed. I know I would. Well, at least I got one power slide nailed. And another one, even though that was only cosmetic. But anyway, we move on. And at this time, it looks as though from here I'm pretty much gonna go out and demolish the opposition with basically no competition from behind me whatsoever. But then again, I'm only doing this on the easy difficulty because, well, my overall average rep, I want to make absolutely sure that the, oh, okay, I do actually redeem myself on the longer power slide, and I actually managed to hold it together. Anyways, so Arnell came home second in the Supra, Henry was third in the Nissan 240SX, Corey fourth in the Infiniti G35, Brant was fifth, and Cliff was sixth, finishing 50.6 seconds behind me at the end. Anyway, one race down. Let's now move on to the next race. I'm also pretty sure that one of these events will pretty much be a 3-race tournament. However, that's down at the airport. I will get down to it, but right now I'm basically just focused on making sure that this game is beaten. I'll also be so glad by the time this game is over and finished. Because then it means I can start to free up my time a bit more, knowing that I did actually beat this game. If I manage to beat it properly, of course. Hey! I actually had a drift which held together. That's actually pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, we are still moving ourselves forward. And as you would have expected, I of course, in my right frame of mind, am obviously pulling away. And it looks as though we're going to stay that way. I will also check my average rep score to see where I'm at, and knowing if the average rep score will manage to stay where it needs to stay. Even though this is a separately saved profile from what I had originally, well, I'm hopeful in saying I will not have to start this game over again by the time I do get up to the end of Stage 5. So yeah, anyways. Let's continue. I can also tell you this turbo upgrade I fitted, well, it is helping me just a little bit. I don't think the PC version of this game has the glitch that the console versions seem to have, where the progression bug sets in and, well, where if you sign with the wrong sponsors in the console version, then you basically don't reach 100%. However, since I have not made such errors this time, I'm fairly certain in saying that 100%, if I can sign with the right sponsor for Stage 5, it should be targetable, is what I think. And I do think it is possible for me to get there. Because I am, of course, committed to the cause, as I've said numerous times before. Huh, must be a new speed record. Anyways. So Henry beats Arnell. I think they're going to be tied at the end of this thing. And no change with the bottom 3. So 16 points to me, 10 points to both Arnell and Henry, 6 points to Corey, 4 points to Brent, and 2 points to Cliff. 5,000 credits and 300 bank. Now we have 6 URL events to go. Because I can do that. I'm also pretty sure we're gonna unlock a lot of cars by the time we're done with this. Okay, anyways. So, new cars, and we've now unlocked new nitrous purges. Cool. Okay, let's now head over to our next event, which is right over here. Coming from Wesley. Competition here is stiff. It's one thing to win on the street. It's something completely different to win on a real track. URL races separate the contenders from the pretenders. I know I've read this before, I just figured it might be worth it for me to read this again. Because why not? Let's go. Hopefully we can do well. And by that, of course, well, continue to keep winning these races like an absolute firestorm, more or less. Anyway. So we get a Nissan 350Z, a Toyota Corolla, Mazda RX-7. I completely missed it on the start. Want to see what car that is. Oh, it's a Mazda RX-8, and last but not least, a Mitsubishi Eclipse. And just like that, I immediately move up into the lead, unsurprisingly. And now I just have to make sure that everything goes according to plan. Hopefully. So yeah. We are moving forwards. One lap down, 3 laps to go. I don't think the progression bug is present in the PC version of the game, but what I do know for sure is it's definitely present in both the Xbox and PS2 versions of the game. And well, as I now know, of course, the amount of average reputation points that you get in Stage 4, they will easily be the most crucial. There's no question about that. And that's basically one of the reasons why I did the whole of Stage 4 on the easy difficulty, because I needed to get those rep points certified, and in most of the races I've basically done just that. So hopefully my average rep score will be good enough to score me the sponsor signing with Grady, because that is the sponsor signing I need in order for 100% completion to be obtainable. I'm also hopeful in saying that it will be obtainable as well, because I have other things which I need to focus on by the time I'm done with this. And that's why at the time of recording this I am trying to get this all over and done with as soon as possible. Well, at least as soon as I can physically do it. So Chong came home second, James was third, Philip fourth, Rob fifth, and Wesley was sixth. Alright, one race down, another race to go. Hopefully we can do well. Okay. And race 2 has now commenced. And I reckon now of course is a good time for me to waltz myself away from the field here. I'm also pretty sure one of the sponsor signings you can get at the start of Stage 5, if I'm not mistaken, is HKS. However, from what I've learned, in order to get 100%, you need to sign with Grady in Stage 5 in order to well and truly get the true score of 100%. I've said this time and again before, and I will say it again, but if I do get to 100% in this game, it will no doubt be one of the most satisfying things that I've personally ever done. Because there are very few people in the world, at least with the PS2 version of this game, who can actually say they've beaten this game with a rating of the triple-digit figures. I, however, so far have only achieved a maximum of double-digit. I, however, have unfortunately only achieved a maximum of double digits. I was really going fast there, down that front stretch. I think I hit a top speed in the end of 186. So in other words, that would literally be 300 Ks in terms of top speed. In other words, 300 kilometers an hour is how much I would have hit down that front stretch, because that's just how long it is. Anyways, let's now get through whatever remains. Here in stage 4. And that, of course, being the URL races, because we've literally done everything else. I'm also pretty sure that if there's going to be a total of 8 events left on the world map to do after the career mode is done with each of the stages. In other words, that will officially be where 100% is approved and certified. Then I should have a total of, I think, 32 races left to do once I'm done with the career mode. So in other words, by the time I get to the end of stage 5, I will have got through a total of 190 races. And then if you add 32, that should make me get up to a total of about 222 races at the end of the game, which I think is what equates to me scoring 100%. So, 42nd victory over James. Chong takes home the bronze. Wesley comes home 4th ahead of Rob, and Philip came home 6th. And we had a 3-way tie for 4th, and also a tie for 2nd. That is pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's all just another news flash to me, because I now have another 300 rep points and another 5,000 bank points. I keep calling them bank points for some reason. I guess it must be one of those things that's sticking with me. Must be because I like it. Anyway. 2 of our 7 URL events in stage 3 are now done, and now we just have 5 left over. So we've got some new cars again, and now I must head all the way over to the airport, and I think it's the event on the far right that's a single race event. But I do know one of these is a single race event, so actually no, I'll start with the closest one, and that's over there. Okay, anyway. Let's go. And here we are. From Alex. URL racing is the bomb. Only the best get invited to race these tracks and skill is king. There aren't going to be any lucky wins because someone gets accidentally clipped by Grandma's station wagon. If you want to call me a grandma, that's fine by me. But assaulting a station wagon... But assaulting my heavily tuned Hyundai and literally calling it a station wagon... I gotta admit, even coming from you, that is pretty low. But either way, this was appropriate dilemma at the time. Anyways, so we get an Infiniti G35, a Toyota Corolla, a Ford Mustang, and I think it's 2 Subarus at the front. And already out goes the Mustang. Is that what we have? Okay, so 1 Subaru, and... oh! Okay, I was right, it is 2 Subarus. Okay, anyway. Well... let's continue to get through this. Because that's what I do. As a plane is now landing just above me, there is no way this sort of thing would ever happen in real life. I'm also pretty sure by the time I get down to Most Wanted, there will definitely be some supercars in that game. Because, well, obviously you have got to get all the way to the top of the Most Wanted blacklist of street racers. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But either way, it is pretty cool to know that this game basically did set off the trend of giving us the world map for us to basically find a lot of our events. I also think it's pretty cool to say that even outside of the career mode you do actually get even more events to do once you are done with the career mode events. I'm pretty sure Most Wanted does have a lot of those, by the way. A lot of events which you can do outside of the career mode. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of the challenge series. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I was thinking of the challenge series. However, since I am of course going for 100%, I will of course be doing that side of the game as well. However, I think after this game, I'm gonna give the Need for Speed series a bit of a break before coming back to it again because, well, the last 3 games I've been playing through now, they basically have been Need for Speed games, and, well, I figure it's time for me to, well, change things up a bit. But either way, I am basically on a try-hard mission here to get this game over, done with and finished, because there is something else which I will need to do, because, well, there is somewhere I am heading. once I've got this game done. Plus I also think it'll be enough time for me to ironically give my system a bit of a break as well, because, well, in that time I will be heading somewhere. And well, because my time is limited, there's not really a lot of things I can do between now and the end of next week, because, well, I'll be heading somewhere on the 15th, and basically I'll be gone for 2 weeks, or whenever this video is uploaded. But anyway, first race is done, and that took me under 5 minutes to set 4 laps. So Colleen came home second, Gary third, Alex fourth, Al came home fifth, and it was Victor who came home sixth. So those are your point standings, as it's 8 points to me, 6 points to the Subaru, and 4 points to the Infiniti. And there's your bottom 3. And let's now move on to race number 2, which I'd imagine will probably not take too long for me to set 4 laps around the joint. And once again, at the back of the grid with the Infiniti G35, and getting a little bit of wheel spin there, probably some understeer off the line, but at least able to get myself into the fray, and just like that, I immediately move up into the lead. Again, I will not be doing the rest of this game on the easy difficulty once I've got the final sponsor secured, and I will of course be hoping to challenge myself a bit more. Well, at least once I'm done with the drag races in stage 5, because I might need to do those on the easy difficulty. I'm also pretty sure there'll be a struggle if I don't. Well, basically, I'll put the rest of the event games on the medium difficulty before I get round to basically completing the leftover events from each of the stages, and also making sure that I at least use 3 of my 4 cars again. I'm also pretty sure that from one of these URL events I will be able to unlock both the Ford Mustang and the Pontiac GTO, although they could be in 2 separate events, but I'm pretty sure both of those cars can be unlocked from winning one of these URL events. Again, it does kind of suck to know that, unlike the previous game, where you do actually get told what cars it is you unlocked, this game, however, does not do that. It basically says you have unlocked new inventory in the car lot. At least that's with the text messages that Rachel sends you whenever you win a URL event. But again, the game doesn't specifically tell you what vehicles you've unlocked, and you have to head over to the car dealership to know precisely what cars it is you unlocked. Anyway, that's probably just me, but I think it would have been nice if the player was at least somewhat told what cars he or she has unlocked from completing a such and such URL event. I do also believe there's one other guy I know, but technically he played the Xbox version of the game, but he did prove that 100% was doable. However, he did it on the Xbox version, which more or less is the same as the PS2 version. I did not think I was going to get those style points. Anyway, doesn't matter. I still win by an absolute country mile anyway. Over Gary, Colleen, Al, Alex and Victor. So, 10 points to me and my V6 Hyundai Tiburon, also known as the Hyundai Coupe. Colleen was second in the Subaru WRX, Gary third in the Infiniti G35 as they tied for third, Alex and Al tied for fifth, and Victor was last in both races. More rat points, baby, also more bank points. Winner winner, chicken dinner. I should also mention it's now 11:30 almost at the time of when I'm recording this, because I'm recording this on a Tuesday night. So I think I'll do one more event and then I'll get on with the other events either tomorrow or the day after. So new cars, and we've also unlocked some new tail lights. Anyways, I will now head over here for my next one, because I can. And this one comes from Rowena. You better pull it tight, cause these cats are gonna get you fully bent if you don't. They run with the top, and this is your chance to squeeze in. No time for fronting, so roll out mad and pull what you got to. I will, Rowena. Believe me, I fucking will. I'll be right back. Let's now continue. So we get a Peugeot 106, a Pontiac GTO, a Mitsubishi Eclipse, another Eclipse, and I think the last car we have in line is a Lexus IS300. Yes, it is. Okay, so 2 Peugeots, 1 Lexus, 1 Pontiac, and 2 Mitsubishis is what we have. And this is 5 laps. I'm also pretty sure this is the single race event as well, but either way, this is basically the Bayview Airport course, which more or less is set up like a gymkhana. At least it basically feels like a gymkhana style course, in my opinion. And I completely got the entry to the kink all wrong. But either way, it still doesn't prevent me from separating myself from my opponents. But anyways, So Rashid is second, Rowan third, Leisha is running in fourth. I don't know who the bottom two guys are because sadly the game does not reveal the rest of the leaderboard. I'm also pretty sure this is the only single race URL of stage 4 because the other ones are series events. Yeah, you definitely cannot go flat out through that set of corners. It is just way too fucking tight for you to just lob it through those corners. You've basically got to be about as accurate as a heart surgeon. To get through the process of mastering those 3 corners there. But either way, I can definitely say this would be way more of a struggle if I was doing all of this on the hard difficulty, compared of course to me doing this on the easy difficulty. And if I didn't think the average rap score mattered so much because, well, believe it or not, there is actually a guy who has been sending me some pretty useful tips regarding what it is I need to be hitting in order to reach those required sponsors for later on in the game. And well, basically up to this stage in the game, I know my rep score has got to be particularly high when it comes to selecting the stage 5 sponsor. Because in order for me to get the Grady sponsorship, I need to have near flawless execution in terms of my average rep score for stage 4. And up to this point, it's mostly been just that. Also, I'm now 15 seconds ahead of... Is it still Rashid who's running second? Oh, it is Rashid. Okay. And Leisha has now moved up to third. Well, anyway. We are still moving along, as I now head past the Yokohama and BBS billboards, and now heading past the Kenwood billboards, as I now have just 2 laps to go here in the single race URL event. I'm also pretty sure this is the only single race URL event of stage 4 because I did this event once before. I'm pretty sure all of the tournament races are 4 laps long, and since I know this one is a 5-lap race, I am fairly certain that when it comes to 5-lap and 6-lap races, I know they are single race events. Because there was actually one event I did at the Bayview Speedway where I had to drive 6 laps. And I was also pretty sure that was a single race event because, well, by this game's standards at least, it would simply be too long to make it a tournament race. At least I think that's how it works. But either way, this race has definitely been longer than what the previous couple of races I've done have been. which have basically been series races. But anyway, final lap here in the single race circuit at the airport, and basically the Gymkhana shaped course because of all the square shaped right-handers and left-handers at the start of the lap. I can definitely say that's a Gymkhana style section, is what I think. But either way, I'm still moving ahead of my competition, and it looks as though this race is basically over. More or less. So, let's keep ourselves moving, as I have now got just a few corners to go. Well, that aside from a long straightaway in between. So, no change of the top three. Rashid is still running in second ahead of Leisha. Rowena is running fourth. We now have just 2 hairpin bends to go, and now there's 1. Heading into the final hairpin. And there we go. Scoring yet another victory in the Underground Racing League. So, Rashid came home second in his Pontiac GTO. Then it was the first of the 2 Mitsubishis, driven by Leisha, who came home third. Rowena came home fourth in the Peugeot 106. Greg was fifth in the second Eclipse. And it was Charles who came home last in the Lexus IS300. Sucks to be him, I guess. He was also less than a minute behind me. Anyways, there we go. 300 rep points and another 5,000 bank points. I don't know why I keep calling them bank points, but anyway. So, let's now save the game, since I figure there has now been some pretty good progress achieved up to now, and then I will move the rest of this episode on to the following day, because, well, right now my time is limited, and also because, well, I have other things to focus on. At least until tomorrow, when I might have more time. But yeah, point is, I do have a lot to get through, but I can do it. Anyways. So, more new cars unlocked, and that's now 4 of the 7 URL events done, and we're now 57% complete with the game. Okay, so I will see you all tomorrow, where I will finish the rest of these URL events. 4 URL events are down, and now I can get through the last 3. And in terms of my rep score so far, I would say we're pretty much well on course to achieving the required average reputation score we need in order to score our final sponsor. So, I will now head straight over here. I think one of the next 2 is going to be a 3-race event, but I'm not sure which one exactly is it. And this one comes from Scott. Yo dog, you're going to face some stiff competition on the track tonight. Some of these guys don't exactly play fair, and they'd just as soon run over you as go around you. Pick a good line and stay alert, and you should make it to the finish. Scott, I've been doing this now for more than a month, and I am pretty sure I know precisely how the Underground Racing League events work. I'm pretty sure one of these 2 will be 3 races, but I'm not sure which one. Also, I'm gonna give myself a sip of water before starting because there's something in my throat. So we got an Eclipse, an RX-7, a 106, a Mustang. I just want to see what the rest of the field is for a second. Anyways. Okay, so we got a Peugeot 106, a Mitsubishi Eclipse, a Ford Mustang, a Peugeot 106, a Mazda RX-7. I was unable to see what the other car was there, and we are doing 5 laps around here. However, I don't think this is going to be a single race event. Not like the last one anyway, because, well, I think this one will be a tournament event. Because I think I already did the only single race event that is in. Because I think I did the only single race event that is in Stage 4 regarding the URL events. And getting a little bit loose there, but still able to keep my car under control. Dan is now up to second. I think it's Spencer in third and then Lee in fourth. I think that's how the field runs. Oh, Julia is in fourth. Okay, so Dan is second, Spencer third, and Julia is running in fourth. And right now, we are running well. And by that, of course, I mean basically very well. Because I am already quite some distance ahead of my next best rival. I'm using some nitrous. Top speed in the end of 173 down the stretch. As I do clip the wall at the end, but luckily I do get the power slide score before the wall removes it from me. And we are now 2 laps into URL event number 5 of stage 4. I'm pretty sure we have done everything else we need to do up to this point. I've also had a look through all of my single race stats as well, and I've also done the magazine covers and all of the hidden races as well, so I think we should be good from here. As far as I'm concerned, I have done everything that needs to be done. I have also done all the sponsor events, along with getting all 3 DVD covers. So, I reckon we're pretty much in the know-how. And I think we're good in terms of finishing Stage 4 regarding everything that we can do in the career mode. Well, at least in explore mode, that is. And I now have a 20-second gap over... Is it Dan who's still running in second? Oh, it is Dan. Spencer is third and Julia is running in fourth. Of course, I am racing this on the easy difficulty, like I said before, because I just really want to make damn sure that the last sponsor I get for Stage 5 at the start of... Sorry, the last sponsor I get at the start of stage 5 is hopefully going to be the sponsor that clinches me the triple-digit figures. And I can certainly say it will be one of the most satisfying things. I've said this multiple times before and I will say it again, but if I do manage to get... Oh, I just got a nice power slide score. Anyways. Oh, okay, so I did get all the cars in the end. So we had a Mitsubishi Eclipse, a VW Golf, a Mazda RX-7, a Peugeot 106, and a Ford Mustang GT. Okay. So Dan was 2nd, Spencer 3rd, Julia 4th, Scott was 5th, and it was David who came home 6th. 300 rep points, baby! And another 5 grand as well. Oh, it was a single race event. Okay. Well, I guess you learn something new every day. Anyways. Did I have a replay recorded up to this point? I can't remember if I did or didn't. I don't think I did. I'll probably have to get the replay taped at the start of the next one. That's probably what I'll have to do. Alright, so we've got new cars in the car lot, and that was our 5th Underground Racing League event of Stage 4, and now we just have 2 to go. And this one comes first. Also, I'm now up to 76,000 credits in my bank. First of all, holy shit. Anyway. These guys are for real. Ain't no time to think, just do. The curves and burns these guys can pull are off the hook, so stay on top. People still ain't impressed by you, so you best go hard. Barbara, I can assure you I am always going hard. I'm basically going even harder at this sort of thing than Ryan Newman does whenever he goes out and qualifies. Also, Ryan Newman, by the way, is the name of a stock car driver, and when it comes to qualifying pace, he is always going hard. Anyways. So we get a Nissan Skyline in this race, along with a Toyota Corolla. I think that's one of the Trueno models. A 240SX, another 240SX. Both of them, of course, being Nissans. And up front, we have an Audi TT. And just like that, I am already up into the lead. Okay, so I think that was our last single race event that we need to do in stage 4 on the career mode map. Of course, we still have those other races that we need to do in the world map, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. And I will not be doing that until the mainstay progress of this game is finished first. So, off the final corner and into the second lap. Marcel is 2nd over Carl, and it is Barbara who is running in 4th, even though she is nicknamed Barb. But I will refer to her full name because I'm pretty sure her full name is Barbara. And in terms of spelling, well, I think it refers to the spelling of Barbara Gordon, not Barbara Streisand. At least I think that's what it is. Because there's two ways you can spell Barbara. There's B-A-R-B-E-R-A, and there's also B-A-R-B-R-A, which, by the way, is how Barbara Streisand's name is spelt. Anyway, final lap. I'm also very glad to say that this race is a short one, so I'd assume this is probably going to be the triple header tournament, from what I can tell, because they wouldn't make this race 3 laps, in my opinion, unless they were giving me a triple header somewhere in between, and something tells me this probably is a triple header. But anyway, the first race will be down. I am still doing this on the easy difficulty because I want to be absolutely sure that the last sponsor I get for this is secure. Anyways, I win. And that took me 3 minutes and 6 seconds to set 3 laps around the course. So, Marcel came home second, then it was Carl who came home third in the Nissan Skyline, Barb was fourth in the first of the 2 Nissan 240SXs, Michelle fifth, and Dave was sixth in the second Nissan 240SX. Let's move on to our next race. I will be back in a second. Yeah, I really don't know what it is right now, but something definitely feels like it's caught up in my throat. And already I moved straight up into second place after getting a little bit of a nudge from someone who was behind me, but either way, I am now here, up in the lead once again, and we are doing the Gymkhana style course once again, which is interesting. But either way, I am of course here to make sure that, for me at least, all is able to go well, and I'm able to score the overall wins as they come to me. I will also consider going back to the medium difficulty once I'm done here, because I really need to make this game more of a challenge again once I am done with whatever remains in stage 4. I'll also be making sure to go through the drift event as well whilst I'm at it, and I do have a plan for that, because I know precisely what car it is I will be using for most of stage 5. And then after that, well, I will be using a 5th car. And what I mean by that, of course, well, the 5th car I will be using in this game, it will, under stock statistics, well, I would say under the stock statistics, this car is arguably the best one in the game. And that will basically be the car which I will be using for when this game is finished. Well, at least by the time I get down to the finale of this game, that is. Okay, final lap. And doesn't look as though anyone is going to be catching me, and I almost perfectly threaded the needle through that very tight section of corners. I was very close to fully threading the needle there. I really think I would have had it there if I didn't get loose in that final corner. I probably would have had it, and the game once again throws another glitch at me. Well, I guess you just have to learn with it. I guess you just have to learn to live with it, because, well, you know, obviously it is a PS2 game which I am playing, of course, on a PS3. And in some cases, the quality itself probably is a little too high for the frickin' game disc itself to handle, which is probably the reason why the glitches keep cropping up. But either way, as long as the game still works, I honestly don't care at this stage about it anymore. That's probably the reason. Anyways, 2 races down and 1 to go. So, Marcel came home second and Carl was third. I don't think we had any changes in that race compared to the previous race. I think we're still very much... yeah, we're very much Noah's Ark in terms of where precisely we are finishing at the moment, because we all seem to be on track at the moment of basically being on level points, more or less. Well, points in comparison, of course, to where we finished in the first 2 races. But since this is a 3-race tournament, I would imagine this might be where that changes. It'll surprise me if the positions do remain the same again. But anyway. Already starting now what is the 3rd race of the tournament. And yes, I do believe this will be where we start to see a few more of the 3-race tournaments in this game, because we are now moving in on the closing stages. And as we head through the final corner, I now head up through here, and that took me just 51 seconds to complete the first lap. That does surprise me. I might also consider getting my replay here now, because I've not really got a replay yet. And, well, I figured this would probably be the best place to do it, is what I think. However, the racing will be more exciting by the time we make a start with stage 5, because, well, I want there to be closer racing. But again, I have to think about the average rep score, and I'm also doing this on the easy difficulty, as I've said many times before now, but I'm doing this on the easy difficulty because I really want to make sure that my average rep score is high enough for me to get the sponsorship signing with what is arguably the highest paying sponsor you can sign with in this game. And there we go. 3 races and 3 wins. And we did have a change in terms of the finishing order because Bob came home 6th, although no change with the rest of the field, except for Dave, who finished 5th. Anyway, let's have a look. So, another clean sweep to me, maximum of 24 points, to me of course. Marcel 2nd with 18, Carl came home 3rd with 12, as he completes the podium. We had a tie for 4th between both Barb and Michelle, who both tied for 4th with 7 points. Lucky 7s if you ask me. And Dave still came home last with a total of 4 points, even though he did finish 5th in the 3rd race. But either way, pretty much Noah's Ark for the top 3. A tie for 4th, that doesn't really surprise me. And Dave, basically, well, he's just being Dave. Anyway, another 300 rep points, another 5 grand in the bank, and now I think it's finally time for me to get a replay. My throat really does not want to stay clear tonight. I'll be whilst I sip on my water bottle, which is right next to me on the left. I'll be back. Hopefully now I will have had just enough water for me to say that my throat can manage to stay cleared long enough for me to get through what should be the last event of stage 4. I've had a few things in my throat up to this point, but I reckon now at least the whatever was in my throat before, it's probably been cleared now. Yeah, okay, I reckon that's enough footage there. I've been recording this for 2 minutes now. I reckon there's more than enough footage for me to get a couple of decent shots in the process. Okay, anyway. Let's now finish stage 4. As we now have more new inventory in the car lot. And our last URL event of Stage 4 is located in the Bayview City core. Oh well, let's just head straight over there. Onwards to the Bayview City core. And here it is. The location of what should be the final tournament event of Stage 4. Only the best racers on the street get invited here, so I have to say I'm impressed. No traffic, no distractions, just you and 5 of the guys who want to leave you in the dust. Every time you win here, you build a little more cred in the scene. Lee, I just want to race. Race, and race hard. Because it's pretty much what I get paid to do. It's also because I want to make sure that at least some of the time, whenever I'm not absolutely stonk in the field, like I have done here in Stage 4, I at least want to prove I'm winning with some panache. Anyway, so we get a Evo 8, another Hyundai, a Toyota Corolla. I think that's a Celica. And up at the front, a Nissan Skyline, driven by Cindy. Well, anyway. Final races of Stage 4. Oh, and Denny's also in this race. Yeah, by the way, I do also recommend at some point you do manage to check out the podcast series Actions Detrimental. Because I gotta say, I think Denny Hamlin is actually really good at that podcast series. Because he definitely outlines the good points and bad points of what NASCAR currently goes through as a very entertainment-based sport, and basically him more or less giving possible recommendations on how they can make the product itself even better. Oh yeah, I should also mention, if you have a Netflix account, I do recommend you watch the series NASCAR Full Speed, because it does manage to iron out some of the extremely complicated things that NASCAR currently has involved in the sport itself. Even then, of course, if these days it's a very entertainment-based sport. But either way, I still recommend you watch the Netflix series NASCAR Full Speed if you get a chance. It's actually pretty good, and I do reckon you'll like it. And yes, I should also mention the biggest star of that show is, ironically, Denny Hamlin. Denny's not inside the top 4 anymore. Well, F. Anyway. Also, Joshua has now moved up into the top 3. Pretty sure that's the first time he's been there all day long. Oh, shit. Okay. It's alright. It's fine. I did not manage to flip the car. Everything is all good. We are doing fine. And so we go on. But yeah, it does also show... But yeah, I mean, the show itself, it does technically show a profile, show the personal profile of some of NASCAR's best drivers. I should also mention it does show some of their most popular drivers as well. And I also reckon that since, you know, Denny did start the podcast series Actions Detrimental, I reckon he has been able to give NASCAR more of a verbal understanding. Anyways, so I beat Cindy to the line, Joshua takes home the bronze, Lee was 4th in the Celica, William 5th in the second Hyundai Coupe, and unfortunately Denny came home last in the Toyota Corolla. Oh well. Anyways, 8 points to me, 6 points to Cindy, and 4 points to Joshua. And now, I think we have just one race to go. Because I'm pretty sure we already did the 3-race tournament of Stage 4. And I think once we're done with this race, the only thing we really need to think about is how to make a start with Stage 4. Sorry, how to make a start with Stage 5. Anyways. So Cindy is leading in the Nissan Skyline GTR. No surprises there then. I really thought for sure I was going to get that power slide to continue. But anyway. So, no change of the top 4 at the moment. Everything pretty much looks to be even Stevens regarding the top 4 at this stage. Well, it's even Stevens for me at least, because, well, as you might have guessed, well, putting the game difficulty on easy for Stage 4, well, you might have obviously guessed. The only thing I'd really be doing is basically just washing out the competition. Even though I kind of need this level of domination for most of these Stage 4 races in order for me to put together what's an almost perfect average reputation points earned for most of these, because, well, that will be extremely important by the time we get to the start of Stage 5. And so we continue. As I now have a 14-second cushion over Cindy, Joshua is 3rd, and William has now moved up to 4th. I wonder where Denny is running, just out of curiosity. Anyway, we go and move on. I've also had no reason to use my nitrous yet, because I'm just so far out ahead of everyone else right now. You could practically say competition. What competition? There has been no competition. However, I can assure you, this level of domination which I currently have, it will not be happening again. At least not for the rest of the career mode anyway, because, well, I will be hoping to at least make 1 or 2 races in this game more of a challenge. I might also consider using the dyno at some point as well, if that's possible. Or in other words, the performance tuning dyno. Because I've not used that yet. And I will basically show you how it works, even though I won't be using any of the setups. But either way, I will make sure to give you at least one test over how it works. So, you know, there is that. But anyway, continually pulling away from the competition behind me, and it looks like my competition has basically gone to the very distant past. But anyway. No, wait, hold on. And it looks like my competition has basically gone flying with the Kiwis, whilst I am up here flying with the Seahawks. In other words, I'm flying with a fast group of birds, whereas my competition is basically driving flightless birds. Anyway, so Cindy came home second once again, Joshua third, William fourth, Lee fifth, and Denny sadly finished sixth. And I say that because, well, Denny Hamlin. Anyway, so 16 points to me, 12 points to Cindy, 8 points to Joshua, 5 points each to both Lee and William, so a tie for fourth, and Denny came home sixth with only 2 points. Alrighty, so 300 rep points and another 5 grand in the bank. I think that should move us up now to 86 grand if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure this was the last one, so I'm going to save the game now. I'm also going to save the game because this now means we get to move on to stage 5. I'm also pretty sure this might be a power plant. Although it could just be a quarry. Actually, it probably is just a quarry. So, we've now unlocked Coal Harbour West. I'm also pretty sure those are cargo ships, which I just saw there, docked by the harbour. But yeah, so there we go. It's official. All areas of this game have now been unlocked. And it only took me 41 minutes to get through all 3 of those events. So, we have unlocked new cars once again. Sadly, however, it doesn't reveal what cars we unlocked. We've also unlocked our final area of the game, which is Coal Harbour West. we've also unlocked the Stage 3 engine, well, the Level 3 engine, Engine Neon, and Engine Accents. All of these, by the way, will become useful to us by the time we're done with this game, or at least by the time we get one car up to 10 stars in ranking. Anyways, there we go. Stage 4 is now complete, and now we need to figure out how to start Stage 5.
You nailed it! Great win! You're free from the last deal now, so get out there and score another sponsor. Just make sure to keep winning.
Thank you, Rachel. Hopefully I will remember to keep winning.
Hey, it's me. I just got the call. The highway to Cole Harbor is good to go. Head over there and see what turns up. Later.
So there we go. We've now unlocked Cole Harbor West. And yes, believe it or not, there are two separate areas to Cole Harbor. There's Cole Harbor East, and there's Cole Harbor West. As of which, we've now unlocked both of these areas, and I think we have got quite a task on our hands over what it is we need to do next. But anyways, so we're now 58% complete with the game, 129 races done, also 129 wins, and our average reputation in the end of all that was 290.7, so that should be more than good enough for me to get the final sponsor I need. And I will make sure to get it if that's what it takes. But anyways, there we go. So, those were the Stage 4 Underground Racing League events. And next time, we will be searching for our final cash rewards of this game, coming in the next episode of Underground 2.
No one get wise, I need speed when I'm racing that strip. I got the bull in the chip, your car like something to strip. Throw up the key, the hoopty whip, the squatters, whoever putting the dollars, holler, we see who car hotter.